Hey, Tech Owen here, author, entrepreneur. Been in business for, um, well over 30 years. Have helped hundreds of thousands of individuals. Have made tens of millions of dollars online. And people always ask me for advice. And, I was thinking just recently, like if I was the age of the individual that I have in the title of this video, what would I do differently than what I've done over the years? And what would I do even more so, right? So I think the most important thing is what are some of the things that I would do even more so if I was the age of the title that I have in this video. And one of the things that I would do is, I tell people this all the time, is to not worry about the past, right? Don't worry about the past. I find it incredibly amazing that so many people worry about the past, and they worry about and concern themselves with things that they can't change at all, right? Like they literally have no power and no control over changing. So I would definitely not focus on things that happened in the past as much as possible. And I know there's some traumatic things that may happen to some people, but I would focus on not worrying about people that um, have affected you in the past as much as possible. Try not to worry about people that have passed along in the past as much as possible. I mean, obviously, if it's something that's happened recently or within a matter of years, then that's going to be kind of hard and difficult to do. Um, I would try not to worry about life circumstances, what you did or did not have in the past, because all of those things affect your future. I would put more effort and emphasis in living in the present moment, like right now, as in right now, and what we can control. And I would be more conscious of how I actually react to things that happen, right? Especially things that are outside of our control. Um, I would be more in tune to the three types of people that tend to come in our lives, right? And I like to use the analogy of riding along in a car. You're riding along in a car, and for the most part, you're going to have one of three different types of people that are along that ride for you. You're going to have the individual that's in a sidecar, right? They're in this little sidecar that's attached to your car, but not necessarily firmly attached. And those individuals may be along for the ride, but as soon as the road gets bumpy, what happens? That sidecar may detach and they're out of there. They're out of there, right? Then you'll probably have the individuals that might be riding behind you. And they're observing, they're watching to see what happens. They're watching to see if you fall off. They're watching to see if you have a hard time. They're watching to see if you have difficulties, right? And some people get joy out of those things, right? So those are the people, those are the watchers. And then you have the individuals that are in the car with you. They're in the passenger side, and I'm gonna get rid of one of my notifications. They're in the passenger side. They are experiencing the journey with you. They're going to be there whether it's a good ride or whether it's a bad ride, whether it's a bumpy ride, whether it's a long ride or a short ride. Those are your ride or die individuals. Those are your ride or die long-term individuals. Those are the individuals that you give more emphasis to. Those are the individuals that you appreciate. Those are the individuals that you truly let them know how much you care and enjoy having them in your life. Because those people are people that, I won't say that they don't come along often, but when they do come along, they're extremely valuable to have in your corner, all right? The other thing that I would do is if I was in business or looking to start a business, I would treat my customers extremely well, right? Extremely well, to the point where you're doing so much more, noticeably more, than all of your competition, right? You're treating your customers well in the form of you're making sure that they have the best of the best products and services without risking the price that you charge for those products and services. You're making sure that you're giving them things that can not only benefit them, but also through osmosis benefit their family, their friends, people that are in close circumference to them. I would make sure that I'm doing the best that I can possibly do to make sure that in business I'm operating in an altruistic manner so that as many people as possible benefit from it versus just yourself, right? Or just a few people. I think when you have businesses like that, there's something special about it that allows them to grow and allows them to have this length of longevity that you don't typically see in business. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been able to be in business for such a long time and be extremely profitable and have extremely high levels of prosperity, right? I would be someone that is a firm believer in karma, and what you put out, at some point you will get back. Whether you get it back immediately or you get it back long term, right? Whether you get it back in the same format that you put it back out in, or if you get it out in a different format. You know, my mom used to say something along these lines, and that is to simply treat people in the way that you wish to be treated, right? I would be someone that was open to everything, right? Open to everything, but not closed off to anything, if that makes sense. Open to everything, but not closed off to anything. I would be someone that would keep my pulse on what the needs of the community are and listening to your community. And when I say community, I mean your prospects, your customers, your followers, people that are paying for the product or service that you have. I would be someone who would focus on the good, and I mean this in a very naive way, like really naively focusing on the good much more than you focus on the negatives or the bads, right? And when I say that, I mean, listen, I've got a black Superman shirt on right here, right? So to give you an example of that, thinking that anything is possible for you. I believe that anything is possible for me. I believe that if anyone else can do it, I can definitely do it. So I would have developed that mindset a lot sooner, right? I would have also developed the mindset of taking personal responsibility a lot sooner. Because I think that whatever happens to us in this life for the most part is a direct, right? The direct outcome of whatever happens to us is based off of how we react to those things, right? And taking personal responsibility in the way that we react to it. So there you go. So just some of the things that, again, if I was the age that I listed in the title of this video, that I would do. And last but not least, I would go back and tell myself that everything is going to be okay. I want you to know that everything is going to be okay. Regardless of the trials and tribulations that you may have come from, that you may have come through, that you may be currently experiencing, that you may be heading towards, everything is going to be okay. Let me know what your thoughts are. And also let me know, I'm curious to see, because I know that if you're watching this, you've got some experiences, you've got some wisdom. What piece of advice, what single piece of advice, and you can throw in more than one if you want, would you share with the age group that you see listed in the title of this video? What's one thing, good or bad, you would share? We'd love to hear from you. I read every single comment and I reply to every single comment. I'm looking for that one thing that you would share.